today has been an absolute joy. What a blast from the past. You know, we had a customer call up and say he was looking to buy an old HPA twin turbo build. And when he showed us pictures of what he was buying, this was GoTTzilla Moto, I was blown away. I was blown away at the condition that I was seeing in the pictures and just how well it's been taken care of, and then seeing it again. So anyway, the new customer has bought it. He shipped it out west. Actually, I think it's going to end up in Florida when it's all said and done. And today I got my hands on it. I went and picked it up. And again, you know, VR6 being true to my heart, this was one of the most badass examples of our twin turbo VR6 of the day. There was no expense spared by the previous owner. He wanted a crossover car. He wanted one that would go between his Audi track day events in mid-Ohio to going to and from his house to his office on a work day. So he wanted a feeling of executive exoticness with functional, practical, sporty track safeties. Car has full fire suppression, full fuel cells, telemetry system, BBS as fine as Motorsport wheels. And I was just looking at the FIRs that I had for the R8 recently, noting the pocketing work. I see what BBS did back in 2005 for their Motorsport wheel. It just makes me smile.
Let's do a walk around.
Yeah, let me go introduce you on some of the neat features. So the interior to me was the biggest challenge we had in the day. To put a roll cage in, race buckets, have it track worthy and still streetable and friendly. Just stick the camera in here. Actually, let me get the steering wheel. This is one of the neatest little things that the guys concocted. So the steering wheel can come on and off. Anti-theft measure, I suppose, when he parked it. We did all this leather work at the time to button up the roll cage and bring the roll cage and the LMS interior together. We recovered the Recaros. In the back, you'll see a nitrous system that was for halo rings for cooling the front mount competition intercoolers. This is a stage 3 twin turbo. So we did these big hybrid custom GT28 71 RS something or other turbos. And because it was a full-on active road course car, heat in the central states was a problem, humidity. So we did this big hood scoop on this carbon fiber hood to jam air down over top of the twin turbos. Let me just show you what this looks like under here. Get this open up. You know, honestly, if you were to clean this up just a tick, it would look as good as it did from 15 years ago when we shipped it. Now this was at the 2005 SEMA show. It went on to compete in the Motor Trend Standing Mile down at the Fresno Air Base. And then it enjoyed many a track day and Audi event out east, and it just kind of disappeared off the scene. You can see he was the only one that we ever did the custom red silicone hoses for. Everything was always blue, trademark blue, but he wanted stage 3 to be unique. In fact, there's probably a video on YouTube of me entering the skid pad at one of the Ultimate Streetcar challenges in this car, letting the big dog eat. And you know, the new owner, he has a passion. I mean, this car is equipped with KW Club Sports. It's got the BBS Motorsports. It's got our biggest brakes at the time. It was everything you could do and more back in 2005. And he said, what can we do today to bring it back to that top shelf, king of the hill feeling? You know, the only restriction, the only thing that held this car back, any of these cars back, were the gearboxes. The O2Ms were good, but north of 600 foot-pounds of torque, they were hand grenades. We're going to introduce the MQ500 manual. It's the TTRS gearbox in here. And we've been doing that on all of our FTX builds. We're going to work on our cooling, introduce some more oil coolers. We're going to freshen up the KWs. And we're going to go through this front to back to see what else we've learned in the last 15 years. If you want to see a real trick setup, let me show you at the back. So again, to be track legal, we had to have the downforce was needed on the early TTs. If you remember when these things launched in '98, they not only launched, but they launched off the Autobahn. So stability, automatic wings, everything kind of got introduced over the years on these Gen 1 TTs. So this was a little overkill, but it did its job. And just, I'm going to pop the trunk. 1 second. It looks as pretty as it did when we fabbed this back up in 2004 and 2005. This was the introduction to the parallel fuel system. The only thing that's different and unique about this car that no other car had was it had a separate fuel rail built for each pair of each grouping of 3 cylinders. So one fuel pump fed one fuel rail, which fed 3 injectors, and then the other pump, the other rail, for maximum flow. You know, it might still hold up, it might do the test of time today. But if you look through the cabin, I mean, every little deal, the Alcantara, I'm not sure what's missing there right now. I'm gonna guess, oh, that was the nitrous. Okay, this is the fire suppression system. The nitrous for the halo rings has disappeared, which is fine. That's probably not necessary in this day and age. That was more for the drag racing work that this car did. But yeah, honestly, you know, 30 years in this game here under HPA, it's neat when you see something you built 15 years ago getting to be a little bit grayer and a little bit slower, but I still appreciate the speed that we hunted back then and the speed that it's capable of today, and I can't wait till we give it a little bit of a refresh.